Cassidy with us right now of Louisiana, a Veteran Affairs Committee, Finance Committee. Took part in the Senate roundtable on anti-Semitism going on at college campuses across the nation. Senator, very good to have you this day. You heard a little bit of what the Colonel was touching on, sir, this notion that releasing hostages is the least Hamas can and should do. So let's say it releases all 239, that's the number he used, that are held by Hamas. What do you think Israel should do in that event?
Can I back up a little bit, Neil?
Please.
You commented most of these protesters seem to be pro-Palestinian. Let me just comment on that. There's a picture of a group of folks in New Orleans who are protesting. The leader of them had the Scottish name. They were pro-Palestinian. And I'm sorry, I just have to go there. We just had this anti-Semitism roundtable. There was a very articulate woman from Stanford who had gone, Jewish, who had gone to high school in Los Angeles, lots of Jewish classmates. And she said that almost from the time they were in school, they were inculcated that Israel was the oppressor, and that there was a billboard put up or a poster that was kept up like for an extended period of time listing Israel as an oppressor. And so we shouldn't be surprised if there's been this kind of constant indoctrination by the educational establishment that Israel is an oppressor. And by the way, other groups that you and I would be surprised to imagine are listed as oppressors are listed as oppressors. So I just want to say this is almost a conspiracy of the woke left using educational establishments to kind of establish that Israel is the bad people. And frankly, so are some other groups that you and I would look at and think, man, they've done a lot of good for humanity. So I just got to comment on that.
No, I'm glad you did, Senator. I'm sorry, I'm tight for time here, but we're seeing one such protest going on in Wilmington, Delaware. The president will be there after he leaves Washington. But it echoes pretty much what we've seen in London, what we've seen in Berlin and Rome and Paris and some of the many cities. I've covered them during this very show every Saturday, and they go on, but they are disproportionately zinging Israel more than they are, forget the Palestinians, Hamas itself. Does that bother you on a level that is how the world, not across the board, but mostly reacts?
Yes. And I think it's an indictment of the educational establishment, not your local teacher who's a good person, but the people in the universities that are teaching the students in the universities these things. And by the way, did you hear, I heard you say they are chanting from the river to the sea.
Yes.
That means the extermination of Israel. That doesn't mean some kind of peaceful kumbaya, let's live together. No, it means wipe the plate clean and let's just start over with no Jews in Israel or Palestine. A land that, you know, King David was in 3,000 years ago. So I think we, who are not part of that woke establishment, need to wake up and say, you know, this is more than just a curiosity. This is something which is poisoning the well of how people perceive how they perceive October the 7th. A massacre killing children, babies, non-combatants, raping women, and parading them half nude through the streets to be spat upon. That's what you're condoning. I do think this is a wake-up call for the rest of America. We need to look at the woke university in a different way.
Senator, thank you very much for that. We're going to take a quick break here again.